Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the talk show Uplifting Communities with John and Miss J. And today we have a really special guest on for you guys. And this is going to be an exciting show, a very exciting show. But before I go on any further, I'm asking Miss J if she don't mind taking the pleasure on bringing our special guest on.
Well, absolutely. Well, first of all, thank everybody for joining us. And just know if you are listening on online, you can call in on the 213-943-3664 and select one to join the conversation. Or if you're already on the phone, just select one and be added to the queue. This is a great show. I'm big on education, but I'm really excited about our guest today. His name is Jared Arms. He's also my nephew, and I'm very proud of him from starting where he started from to creating a business that it blesses and uplifts the kids in this community. So before we get started, I'm going to have Jared tell you a little bit about him. And also, Jared, while you tell them a little bit about yourself, please let them know what STEM stands for.
Hey, thanks for having me on. So, yeah, STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. I know they just kind of added it to the I think theme actually. So, for Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Mathematics.
All right. And tell them a little bit about you.
Yeah, so 28-year-old, I would say St. Louis, and started off doing this web development around 2011, targeting more projects for like some of my friends I was losing in my early stages of high school. And I ended up launching a company in 2013 called Kyrate.io. Well, initially I was just focusing on like building like apps and things like that for a few local experience, but initially it kind of grew to me, watching this non-for-profit kids how to build apps and websites, different things like that. It just kind of like what it is today. So that's real quick in a nutshell. Just regular young African American right now in technology, just trying to make a difference in some of these underserved communities.
Yeah, and you started your company at 23. Now, at 23, you have seen several of your friends pass away. What made you think about technology? Because that's a lot of trauma. I still believe that young people that see a lot of death, they do have a tendency to suffer from PTSD, and so a lot of studies are on that. But that's a different show. But um, I wanted to talk about that because you experienced a lot of trauma. You saw things that, young people just really shouldn't be experiencing in their teens and young adult age. So, what made you choose technology as an outlet? Because you could have started going out popping back. I mean, what made you choose education?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's kind of staying like, I guess, like not getting too lost in myself and not getting too far where I couldn't reach, like, just myself and things like that. So I knew, like, at 17, things like that, when I had lost Stacy and stuff, some of the things that I was thinking about, like I was hearing people like bust after the funeral, or whatever they had said, like they lost their color obituary, or a few of them said they only had a black and white because they ran out of color obituaries. And I was just thinking this stuff like if I could scan the obituary up, and then some friends they was talking about how like the local news station is putting up some list stuff that they ain't really like reading about. So I was thinking about making my own little comment box, and Android they just got purchased or released I think one of those two bills like something in '07 it just was coming out. So in 2007 I started losing some friends. That was just kind of like that's the reason why I started thinking about it because it was new technology like Android for us to do those type of apps. But it was
Right.
just fresh and stuff like that. And I ain't never want to get too caught up in all that crazy different things like that because I didn't create this problem. So like I don't know. It's like you gotta like can't get too caught off into stuff like that, because you still got your own like mission and vision. So I ain't about to be really falling for nothing, jumping off the board or nothing like that. Because I'm the only child, and then I really respect my mom giving me life and stuff like that. So uh, if I got to go all out with a bang, it got to be something like really that close to something with her, and something not nobody that I'm meeting like that. But I'm definitely enjoying meeting these people. I hate that I have to lose them at such an early age and stuff, but it ain't. I ain't about to jump off the cliff for nobody. So my mom had kids and like that shit, so I always kind of been that conscious with it, just thinking about any situation and stuff. So I ain't about to let none of this stuff break me. So it is gonna build me up to make me stronger. But I ain't, just good energy and stuff like that. But yeah, I ain't gonna go crazy and nothing like that. Because what our people's been through and stuff, the stuff my mom was telling me about from Black history and just learning how these strong brothers was fighting against Hitler and what our Black sisters was going through slavery, like the stuff I was seeing, that ain't nothing. So it's just like, I'm real respectful actually where we got it at today, but I knew it wasn't nothing like how I used to be. So I was like, just stay strong, keep going through what it is. Don't get caught up in these logos, brands, names, and all that type of stuff. Now it's like more, now we on that conscious talk, so that's what I'm trying to get to it at. Seeing the different images of Ferguson with the police officers and how you seeing them with our people in the community compared to how you seeing the students in the offices now that we working with and stuff like that in Ferguson or down in the city. So just trying to, use that, but can't be just all militant without having no intellect involved. So I was like, I don't want to be doing farming or fashion or entertainment or sports technology, just like the most simplest thing. So, yeah, not to go on and off and all that type of stuff, but yeah, it was a lot of decisions, like especially like when you got a lot of people that's going against like the typical person, I guess like the Urkels and all that type of stuff is like you either gonna be like the smart nerd or you gotta be like this dumb or you gotta be this bad boy, but you gotta be the smart advanced hacker, but you can't be like just a normal cool guy who's a stand up guy who may not want to respond like that but want to respond doing something different. And it's more difficult uh to positively like respond to like say 500 black boys in the community, like young boys, and empower them and make them like multi-millionaires than it is to killing one person back. So I knew like for the real problem and stuff once I started learning about watching just different movies and stuff being young, I was like I gotta take a different approach if I really want to try to help this. This ain't nothing just in St. Louis like that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy though. I
I
was
think it's
down.
like that everywhere. Everybody, all the
Yeah.
communities are struggling. And I like the point that you made is that you respected your mom and that you knew you were her only child because I know people that are only children that that have been out in gang life or whatever. But it was interesting that you chose that the on top of your intelligence and making a conscious choice just to not be a part of it, but you acknowledged your love for your and respect for your mom, and that's major. I think when we respect and love our families and those who have given us life, sometimes we not sometimes, but we make better decisions because we're not just thinking about ourselves. We're thinking about how everything that we do affect everyone around us. It's not just about us.
Yeah, because this stuff say really too small, and this the way this stuff goes is just like being blessed. These people, they will, they'll get on you and your mama the quickness. So like you can't be playing around out here. And ain't nobody really like, even with the scary people that's out killing folks, it's like they don't even matter if you tell them scary because they are guns is guns. So it's like about being smart because it's too small and you will bump into somebody. So it's like, yeah, especially when you get on the bus stop and you start running into everybody and all that crazy junk, you have to compromise if you actually care about the relationship. Other than that, it's just that being heartless don't be serious because you gotta be like that the whole way. But
Yeah.
I ain't on that. You know
Uh-uh.
how I feel about that's just what I see.
Mhm.
Young people going around killing people. I really do think that they are really mentally, they say that mentally unstable. Okay, because it's not the norm for us to go around killing each other. Okay, I remember growing up, in the South. Yeah, we had our fights, you know, but it wasn't serious. We fought, man. We knocked people teeth out. We, gave people black eyes. People then gave me a couple of black eyes, But you know one thing though, it was cool after that. We wouldn't go around killing up people and stuff like that. No, it just wouldn't do that. Because I think that a lot of people that go around doing that, you understand, they mentally unstable because it's not the norm. It's not the norm, and I think that's the biggest problem we have in our community is getting people to go to counseling, getting people to go and talk about some of the problems that they have. Because people that go around killing people, I really do think that there's a problem with them.
Well, I think it's bigger than them having a mental problem. I'm sorry, Jared. I'm sorry, it was a delay. Um, Go ahead, and I'll chime in after you.
No, no, you fine, you fine. I was just saying there's definitely big warfare going on, things like that, the chemicals, the food, all type of different things. And yeah, I was just thinking learning about it and all these different things. So it is serious. So I'm trying to keep as healthy and most aware as possible. But
Yeah.
yeah, it is. It's different because I've been with I know like just being around a few people like my teenage years, 10, 12 years ago, like just some of the mentalities and stuff. Like you think you want to kind of be around people like that, but I remember some folks, friends, parents telling them to take out the trash. That irritates the kids, make them talk about wanting to hurt their parents in crazy ways. Just seeing different stuff without people hurting anyone, people still being harmed and things like that. So some of that stuff is confusing because you really can't put no finger to it. You just try to stay away from it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just backtracking,
Yeah.
it's yes, we do have mental illness in our community that's not being addressed, hasn't been addressed in decades. Okay, that's a fact. But I also believe when people are stripped of hope, when people feel like there is nothing else, it is natural instinct to survive. And when you are a survivor, you do whatever you have to do to survive. Do I justify killing? I know I don't do that. But what I'm saying is that to just label it as one thing is a combination of a lot of things that create certain behavior, especially in the poor community, especially when the young brothers are killing each other. I used to always say, why are they killing and they don't own nothing on the street? They don't own a house. They don't own a car. You know what I mean? Like you're killing for a block or whatever, for whatever reason that they may have, but you don't even own anything on that block. You know what I mean? It's like you don't own anything besides what you think you own within yourself, but really, like, that's not your house. Like, you're not protecting your family, you're not protecting your grandmom, your brothers, your cousins. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot that comes to it, but I don't think it's just strictly mental illness. I think it's being hungry, jobless, homeless, uneducated, low self-esteem. It's like a combination of things, I think, that make people do things or become cold-hearted. You know, I watch Vice Channel. As I said, I'm a kind of nerd, but I watch Vice Channel, and they have this show called, I think it's Black. I want to say Black Market, and they talk to people that are making money, some of them the incorrect way. And one of the guys kept saying, well, everybody keeps saying they're going to give us a job. No jobs don't come. But we watching all these other people ride around in their new cars and stuff, but ain't nothing happening over here. So we figure we go get ours. Now, for an average person, like, oh, what an animal. Like, what an animal. But in his mindset, y'all ain't looking out for me, but y'all keep giving it to them, so I'm going to get that. So I think we have to be really open minded when we're, thinking about why our young men are killing each other, why they're building more prisons than high schools and primary schools, and because they're counting on our men to fill that up and minorities to fill that up. So we got a big problem. It's bigger than just like one or two things, but the fact that you took violence and turned to positive and teaching technology to the youth. Let's talk about that, Jared. Let's talk about how um, you use that as far as teaching the kids, and do you talk about gun violence as well when you're teaching them about STEM and whatever else you're teaching them?
Yeah, good question. So I give kind of two responses to it, to different examples. So one, uh, working with some of the students, and like recently this past summer, we had a nonviolent game development workshop where we partnered with the St. Louis City Police Department and we had about 20 students that were partnered with the Boys and Girls Club of Greater St. Louis, and really just trying to humanize the community, teaching the students and officers how to build video games together and just building relationships. And it was great because we had like free pizza and ice cream come out, media come out, Fox News, KMOV, St. Louis American put us on the front paper and all that type of stuff. So it was really dope. And the thing with that was really, even though it was great to have free pizza and ice cream and partner up and all that great stuff or learn about video game development, it was more so just about trying to build communities and things like that to decrease another Mike Brown situation from happening or an experience. So when some of these students, maybe who 8 years old, some 18, see these officers, vice versa, it may not be as much tension in the street, especially due to the history that we got in the country. And the second part to respond, aside from just talking about it, that's kind of how we try to decrease it by letting some of these white officers just work with some of these young brothers and sisters in these areas that they police but don't necessarily live in, so they can start actually having like a real human experience with them. Really decrease it on the main level because that's like the main problem what they doing to us. And then when it comes back to us and things like that, hold on 1 second. So when it comes back to us and things like that, for the second part, this is for some of the students who just kind of going a little faster because they got their own, just paths. So we just start working with some of the young inmates. But I'm still calling them students. I don't like to call them inmates, but some of the young students that's locked up in Clayton's family court, so the juvenile detention center. So as I'm teaching them about apps and how to do HTML and just talking to them one-on-one, one thing I was telling them, like, because I be, you know how I be, like, when you see my stuff, like, when I'm watching things like Malcolm X and Martin King, I don't be trying to be, like, oh my God, dude, just extra serious with this technology stuff, but it'd be important because, like, I remember, like, my mom trying to tell me to watch Roots, and then, like, I'm like, Mom, I ain't about to watch his old movies, like, just being young until I got, like, 19, and when I watched it, got to take this historical field trip in Memphis, went to Lorraine Scott Hotel, stood over, just seeing Brother King, Blood and Concrete, just cherishing Black Life more. That's why I be more serious, because I know the momentum that they was moving at. So some of them, all of them not gonna just catch it at once. So I had to kind of stop and talk to them like one-on-one about technology and let them know. When I was 16 or 15 or 14, I maybe wasn't locked up in juvenile, but I was doing stuff like this and stuff like that. And they were like, listen, whoa, you did this, or you tried to experiment with this? Oh, man, yeah. And not only did I try this, let me tell you about this guy, Malcolm X. I know who you all heard of before in detail. He was doing this at 16 to 17 years old. But let me tell you about how this type of stuff came in the community. So it kind of goes from like, I'm here for doing this and doing that. I won't put none of their business out. But
right.
reason to now they saying, oh, brother, Mr. Arms, you telling me that these guns that my uncle, the big brother, was telling me they got a few years ago that at this little train in this neighborhood, the white folks kind of put those trains there and just left by those cases AKs. Man, you mean to tell me all the dope that's coming in the community, they putting her, they just like, nah. So when I get to really breaking it down to them, they be like, dang, and then just to end with that answer, aside from just the nonviolence, like I'll be talking about, like, more the chemical warfare, aside from just the culture warfare. So I talk about like the marijuana, the whole THC chemical reactions, what they actually does to the male and female body and stuff like that. Different things that happen to the female body when the smoke hit the fire, high mix and all that. And just hit them on a different standpoint because you usually get introduced to their stuff using, in hip hop or in movies and stuff like that. So it's like as I get in the timeline to Marcus Garvey, down to this, to Huey P. Newton, to this, to today's date, it's like trying to let them understand that they are, they are more important. It's just as important as those people, but you got to understand who you are versus what you are. So it'd be challenging, but I definitely hit it with it, go over it. It get bigger too because we had this organization in Fiji hit us up, and it was a certain area, not of course the entire Fiji, but this real underserved area in Fiji. And basically they were saying they would show me some like a few hours of documentaries that they had recorded from over there, and I was just seeing that a lot of people was practicing, not watching people, but I was learning about people was practicing cannibalism pretty intensely in this area for the last few years, and it's just crazy mentality going over there, and they wanted to hire us to come over there to really just help recreate a new and all of this type of stuff, so they could just have a different future. And at that time, I was like, no, I can't come over there with no history of people doing stuff like that. But what really surprised me was that I'm focusing on just these areas that we got, especially in the black communities, gun violence, HIV, high incarceration, homelessness, all this. But when you're looking at these areas globally that's focusing on cannibalism still and all that, and they're looking at us to help clear that, it just gave me a bigger vision to approach. Now it's like we hit main areas and stuff like that. Trying to think more global with it. But yeah, I definitely hit it with it on it. And they be eating the game up because they don't know it. And for me to hear a young brother, especially 14, say, you mean to tell me that they're crack and all that type of stuff to hear from them? But then when I teach them how they can make $1,000 in one day from their phone legally, then they like, man, I never even thought or knew you could do stuff like that. And
Yeah.
it's like, well,
Yeah.
how can you? My thing is, as an adult, well, I know you know about legal work, so I know you can work. But he was like, yeah, I can go and maybe work and save up money, but I can't go nowhere on any of these streets in St. Louis or downtown and just get paid that much a day. But I can at your company, so it's kind of crazy what God got going on right now. But we on to something big though. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's like it's just nice because it's this guy doing it. So it's like there's so many people that's being used right now to
Yeah.
do this big thing, and we just a small rock in the mountain. But it's good to just be a part of it.
Absolutely. I think it's pretty cool you go to work with the juveniles that are in the system because like you show them they can make $1,000 on their phone, right? Like that's what I'm talking about earlier about them having a choice. If someone think that they're being ignored or not being shared information or they don't know about it, they're gonna react in different ways, and that's what I was talking about earlier. But you gave them a choice because now they know I can come out and do XYZ and I can get a job or I can create my own business doing this because you giving them a choice. And I think a lot of times we don't a lot of people think we don't have a choice. And this one thing I like about this show, because whether you dig what somebody's doing or not, is interesting that the information that's going out, a lot of people still don't know about it. Like STEM, we were talking about STEM earlier, and John was like, yeah, sometimes I think people know. I said, but I thought everybody knew this one because it's on TV. But it doesn't mean because it's on television or is in the news or is in the media that we are really processing the importance of programs like STEM, teaching our kids how to build websites, how to create apps. And Kim Kardashian making millions of dollars off of apps, and they not even all that great unless I'm not understanding what the purpose is, but off emojis, millions of dollars. And all we have someone like Jared that's doing it for the kids, teaching them that this builds a community of strength. If we can be self-reliant in this kind of way in technology, and it is game changing for us as a black community. It's game changing.
Oh man, thank you so much. It's very humbling. I ain't gonna lie, I've been crying every time I think about how God good. I mean, good guy it is for real. Like especially like I remember like just 4 years ago when I was trying to get this stuff going. The first year is like I was real. It was real down bad. So it's like uh, I've been actually experiencing a few things like overnight things, being able to you know ride those clouds, having an option to come down and out, which I always come down and stuff, and it'd be difficult trying to move like a culture, like I got like a, how do you pronounce it? I can't even, I forgot how to pronounce the word, but it's like a real movement. Like
Yeah, a
when I get
revolt,
done
a
doing teaching and
revolution.
stuff like that, some of these
Hmm.
students just be standing around. They don't be on no lame stuff like, cause I be on there with people that I was really be admiring. I just like, oh man, I don't never want to leave them. But
Right.
sometimes after I do my stuff and I just get so much energy, they just stand around and I really looking for like the next piece of direction and navigation and stuff. So it's like that's where it get real though too. Like these brothers so hungry for the knowledge. I be having some of these colleges packed on days where they be closed and stuff like that. So they just show you how black people will be in college, will be doing positive stuff in Ferguson or wherever. They just gotta connect with somebody that's real that they want to do it with like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I there's a lot of blacks out there that's doing a lot of positive things. Um, and and that's the good part about it. But we was um, I I wanted you to explain to the audience, exactly how you fit in the STEM program with your program. Gotcha. So with STEM, that's an acronym for just focusing on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and it kind of came out like around the late '80s from my research on it. And
Yes.
but really a lot of people, that's like the main thing we talked about any like key area of education. So with us, we like to take the path of course, like engineering, and we like software engineers. So what we developed is websites, apps, video games, search engines, cryptocurrencies, different things like that. So what we do, we partner with local colleges, local organizations, as well as selected schools, and we really just, just introduce our program that we have to offer, which are individual classes, a little tech camps that we just launched early this year, and we just really teach students how to, build like the skills that we'll be hiring for in the future, or that we know companies that hiring pretty strong in today's market are looking for, and really just trying to teach these numbers and stuff like that. When I was in New York, I seen that we had to go to this little thing with Script Ed, and they was awesome organization, but they had these statistics out, and they was doing it in a good way to increase them, so they was awesome. But I had seen it. This was in 2015, so the numbers may increase since. But they said they nationally Hispanics and Black males combined only make 2% of Black technology-owned companies.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to help increase those numbers because I didn't know they was that low. So it's like, the numbers high and all the other type of stuff, entertainment, sports, all this good stuff. But it's like with technology, that's how that is. So what we had to do to actually get that stamp to really kind of be verified in St. Louis, even though St. Louis isn't an Android-focused city, we had to get it recognized. And what we did was basically looking out for a company that was funded partially by Google. And then after we developed that application, we got to be showcased by another company that Google, the entrepreneurs department, was empowering. And then from there, we were able to get a little bit of national recognition, made a nice sale to Balenciaga last year. And then we used those funds to start building our digital currency platform that we have now called the Color Coin. And then that's what we use it now to kind of continuously increase our fundraising to develop this VR app. Once we develop the virtual reality application, we'll be targeting our next market, which will be students, at home, and really, just making sure that these students at home can like learn about like whatever they can learn about using our VR app. And that's why we partnering with bigger companies, and be talking about this moving forward next month at this Best Buy headquarters in Minnesota. So that's kind of like the whole little path with it. And once we get to our VR app and start building stuff, maybe 5 years after that, we'll go to the next stage. But that's like our main thing right now, getting to this VR stage.
That's impressive.
Very, very impressive.
And the fact that you have a plan, even though you say you're listening, you're following God and God is giving you guidance, but he's also installed a plan within you. So you know which direction he's guiding, right? So I think it's really impressive because first of all, at your age, second of all, you're chocolate like me and John, and so, you just don't see African American, black. I like to say black. I know it's politically correct to say African American, but I like black. Um, and don't see that many black people in technology, science, mathematics. And what's really amazing is that that's our gift. We excel in that. Whenever you do find an African American or a black person in any of those fields, they excel. I think about Hidden Figures. Like she was a computer, a human computer, all of those ladies, right? And that's not even with all this technology that we have today. They were just shooting out numbers like computers. So it's just interesting that we got to realize how valuable, how smart, how needed we are, not only in our community, but in this world, period. And some of these fields that we need to tackle more. Johnny always talk about carpentry and electricians and plumbing. Those are good paying jobs, but they not glamorous enough for us. And I used to laugh at the trash man too. The trash man told me the other day how much he made. I laughed my way back in my mama house. I was like, oh, the joke on me. That's what I get being smart. But so trash men don't laugh because they got pensions and they got a whole bunch going on, But these are like trades that nobody really wants to. I don't want to be no trash. I don't want to be no janitor. I don't want to do this. But we got to find something to do. Whatever it is, if you're going to be a janitor, be the best janitor. If you're going to be the teacher, be the best teacher. But we are capable of doing so much more. We just got to trust it and step out. And I'm glad that you're just putting it in so many young people's face, because I'm sure when they realize they just built an app, they can't stop smiling, right?
Oh yeah, they be now.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you said that about being humble because like staying humble, like I know when I was first starting off trying to develop my network, I'm watching things like, just like I knew like the only person who had a real positive network in my life at that time was my mom. So I had to just start networking with people she was at work with, just start going from there. So a few events that she had to, of course, assist in as an employee where she worked at the time. I used to volunteer for them companies, and I'd be like coaching or something like that, just hanging up everybody coach stand downstairs when they get big fundraisers and everybody with feet run a little lunch up on the plate and them clapping because they got the numbers but not seeing nothing but just remembering like, oh, I'm gonna start down here so I'm gonna keep coming up. So it's like now, like next month, I'm like, God, it's a highlight to be on the talk about this recycling in the Black Dollar using cryptocurrency at this Best Buy headquarters, which is pretty big, especially at their headquarters and things like that. So that is kind of good too to you know don't just kind of come in just trying to run and just move like a bullet because each level of it and things like that. And even trying to do jobs like your labor ready. As I was doing my college.io stuff, doing little trash man jobs here and there, getting a little quick $100 for the day, but it's just like but now it's like different and stuff. But it's like you gotta be humble no matter because you gotta still gotta make stuff happen even if it ain't pop yet. But that was the thing I was doing, just staying focused on something, not doing it for the money. So now
You're
that
right.
part coming in a little bit, more this year, it's just like that's a blessing, but it's like, it ain't really about that.
You got to stay hungry. As soon as you stop being hungry, you get too comfortable.
That's right. As Ms. J was talking about, I always talk about carpentry and plumbing, and I do, because like building and trade, I was in building and trade at one time. But what a lot of people don't understand, especially the younger generation, building and trade have changed also. Because everything, modern technology that made this thing here way much easier to do. Now these days, they're building a whole side of a house. You know what I'm saying? It's like manufacturing now. And that's what, so even building and trade, you got to get into modern technology now these days.
Yeah.
There's no carpenter apprentice. It's not like it was when I was a carpenter apprentice. It's way more advanced.
Yeah.
And we and then in different areas too. And I just kind of found that briefly, but we got connected with Clayco Corporation, and they was just kind of telling us about just not really decrease that dramatically, but just still seeing like the era of the baby boomers and how a lot of those people in those towns were more like with construction and development, highways and all that type of stuff. So to continue pushing those type of, I guess, future developers and getting those type of people prepared, they want to partner with us, and we will be partnering with them so we can start teaching and bringing some of our students over to the Clayco Corporation, teaching them how to use their virtual reality technology for construction development, highways, parks, and stuff like that. Right. So, yeah, I definitely respect what you're saying on that because it is needed.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though, because you're combining two worlds, two different generations. I'll say two worlds to different generations, however you want to verbalize it. But you're connecting to you're like you're a bridge, because you're connecting two worlds pretty much, and that's great. And that's what we need. We need to, like when you're out there with those kids, you're connecting the bridge that they never thought they could cross over. You know what I mean? Like you're on this side and they on one side, and then you just put this bridge there and say, "Come on over." A lot of times people really don't
Right.
believe how great they are. And like you're putting it in their face, like, man, you got this, or you can learn this, or you can be this, or I'm going to hire you, as we grow if you keep this up. I mean, you're giving them hope. And I think that is like the biggest thing is giving them hope with education. Because one thing about education, they can't take it away from you. Because once it's taught to you, it
That's
is
right.
yours forever.
That's right, Miss J. They can't take that away from you.
They take everything else. They done changed their names. Girl took our land. Reparations. I'm just kidding. But 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 they could never take, they remember those songs that were passed down from generations. They remember one person taught the other family member how to read and write. Once they got that information, that they did everything else to tell. They took everything else away from, but they couldn't take that knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is. So, you was just telling the audience, I considered you to be a young man, 28 years old.
Yeah, he's young.
Now, what, like your friends and stuff around your age bracket, what are they saying about what you're doing?
It's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good question. So let me think. It's a few folks, but that I still connect with and things like that. But at this point right now, it's like anybody from my high school. There's a few people that I'm connected with, but it's not. I don't know. I ain't really focused on that network like that no more because it was like the way I'm thinking about stuff. How I got connected with a lot of people is like off location and business decisions and stuff. When I'm connecting students and things like that, they can connect and integrate and have the experience and be great friends and just do the workshop and have a great time and continue to move forward in life. So it's like now that I'm looking at just how different students moving in different buildings and stuff like that, I ain't really, gotta take too much to it like that. But there are a few of them that's like, you was always, was quiet doing your homework and stuff like that, what people say and stuff. But yeah, but I was quiet though. A lot of folks thought I was dumb, so they just like, when this part kick in again. But what's unfortunate and the crazy way, and I hate to say this, but some of my real childhood friends that I grew up with, I had seen some of them the other day because I just been like since I launched college, got out, I haven't been going to no funerals or nothing like that, and kind of just made sure I kind of like stayed out the way a lot. So when they really see me, they don't really know too much about what's going on the internet unless they following me like that. So we got a lot of my friends that for some reason they just continue. I think they got killed or something like that. They're like, I heard this, what I'm saying? Well, why? So they've been seeing me and hearing my voice and stuff, but my real ones, that's kind of crazy. Like, nah, it's still going up. And you heard about other friends that passed that got the name shared and things like that. So, but yeah, man. But man, it's crazy. You know how people be like, you still young. Some folks ain't looking at it like that. Like, you got people trying to set you up, and you got a lot of haters and stuff like that. So, it kind of changed up too. You really can't really be trusting folks like that when it just changed up. It's still like cracking. So
Yeah.
my network, like I said, when I started connecting with my mom and her network, the people she worked with, I just kept making sure. But the people in my network, I just keep it brief. They see some people would see me and be like, "What's college.io?" And just don't even know nothing about it. But some folks, man, that's great stuff and all that. But like they can't say nothing but what I'm saying. I know, what I'm saying, for positive stuff. So yeah, I ain't
Right.
giving them nothing to hear about that's not great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I asked you that question. And the reason for that is because, like, most of the time, the stuff what you're doing, that's that's so advanced to where as though a lot of people can't comprehend that. Oh yeah, where you at? So they not right. And
Or
so
yeah.
it's only a selective few that you're gonna be able to pick up and put them in your arm and carry them along with you and teach them. But it gonna grow. See, you at the infancy stage right now,
Mm.
especially in your African American communities, because because this is something we don't teach our children. We know, you know what I'm saying? It's just
Mm-hmm.
it's made for to do nothing but grow. And a lot of people is not gonna be able to see that. But don't give up. Keep doing it, man. I'm serious. Keep doing it because this is something I see. You explained something to me that I didn't really see that what's going on in the black community. What you're doing, and as you explain it, now I see, and now I see where it's coming from. But I'm gonna be real. I'll be real with you, my brother. Like and it's nothing. I'm just giving examples of mentality that Ben Dash would say. But like even with my mom, I've shown her ways. Like, okay, mom, this is where, and you don't have to do it, but I have a different argument. I got a real aggressive desire to be successful. Now, in my situation, it's not her having to work for me, with me, or nothing to benefit in no type of way, but just as she has a strong interest in what I have, what I got going on, and of course, financially growing the business. When I'm showing her things like that, seeing how they still go to set limitations versus expectations, uh, and all that,
Mm.
I'm comfortable and stuff like that with this stuff. I just like you don't have to be comfortable because it's just an idea. It's like so some people I've shown like you can do this, and then still go. Now I want to go over here and for 6,000 hours, even though I'm seeing this for 2 or 3,000 a day. I'm gonna go do this for 9,000 hours while I'm limited by 12 hours versus and it's just crazy. So it's like some of the stuff it is kind of like that, but like that I ain't about to stop because some folks get it after a while and then ask questions like, "You think I could put some of this money into this?" And it's like, why would you ask yourself, could you be financially empowered? Like, just
Because
ask
it's new
yourself
to
questions
them.
with it. So I kind of have like, like the day I
Mm-hmm.
seen a pastor, I just had to tell him to be a little bit more firm. Like, he's too loose. When we we need to be more firm. So even if you don't understand what I'm saying, don't be don't play around with what we're doing right now. Just be serious with this movement. You see these old ladies coming out here on purpose with these breathing machines on and all this type of stuff, and you just running around acting so loose and stuff like that, as if like you like more important or something. Than like some of these people that lost their life really trying. So that be irritating too. Is like if you don't understand tech, you ain't gonna be a guru with me in this. Whatever you feel like you should be a master in, it could be a fighter, a police, a pastor, whatever. Then take it serious and be the master of it. Don't
Yeah,
play around
that's
with it.
right. That's right.
So
That's
it don't
right.
even be about the technology. It really be about perfection and trying to protect the character and whatever they in. And it's the same process, the same recipe. If you don't follow it, you ain't gonna be free. Because it's not really about like technology. It's about them not approaching science and math like that.
That's
And
right.
that's what we had that's the bad problem. That's why like I just flipped $10 to $1,000 legally. Customer would love to talk about why they paid 1,000 and how cheap that is for them. But on some street stuff, ain't nobody flip nothing for $10 to $300, not for 1,000. So it's not about. See, some people is like, man, you're just how you have yeah, this is how you double your money. You gotta stop thinking about it like that. From 10 to 20, right. No, 10 to 1,000. You can't do that with only using addition, math, multiplication and stuff like that. So that's my thing. You gotta approach science.
Okay, we hear you passionate
Learn
about
some
that.
math. You gotta get and enough on the talk show. Okay, so I'm asking Miss J to start closing us out.
Okay, I didn't mean to laugh, but he was so passionate. I was like, oh my God, anyway, so I get like that too. When I'm talking about something that I really love to talk about, I just go for it. Um, so I had to laugh, so forgive me. But Jared, if you had something positive to say about, STEM, whatever that you're teaching the young people to the audience, what would that be to encourage the parents to have their children get involved?
Yeah, I would say just get involved because kids love making video games and well, I love playing video games and using apps and stuff. But it would be great to learn how to build this video game or build the app to potentially be a very successful person in technology. And it's just great. And they can do what they love, and the money will follow. It's going to be safe. We haven't had any students like with our thing. There's been students outside, of course, once they leave. But just
Okay.
like with the knowledge ecosystem in our world, no one's been getting hurt, anything like that, and everybody, successfully completes at the end. So it
All
builds,
right.
like you said, hope, confidence, self-esteem, That's great. And we got a lot of partners across the nation that's looking to hire these students as they
Thank
continue to
you.
get older. So we got a workforce program as
Okay.
well. So I think it would be great to be part of.
Awesome. Thank you. And John L. Brown.
Okay. Thank you for coming on, Jared. But Miss J, get with Jared and see if he can come back on the show because this is very informative. But we need you to come back on, Jared. Would you do that? Sure, yes, sir. Okay. All right. And I get a copy of the paperwork to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank everybody for
Thank
joining us
you,
this evening. Oh, sorry, Mr. John. I thought I heard you say back to me. I apologize to you. But thank everybody for joining us. Hope you learned something about STEM. We're gonna bring Jared back on to be more in depth, just concentrating on STEM and different projects. So thank you very much again. Have a great evening. You could have been anywhere else, but you was with us, and we thank you. Peace and blessings.